Yes, it's another RGB lamp, but this time with dedicated white LEDs and you know the usual RGB LED strips, and it also can be used to charge other devices. Did I also mention that it charges with Type-C and has a 10,000 mAh battery? It's time to learn how to build this lamp. So you're going to need 2 white rocker switches, 5-meter RGB LED strip, the dedicated white LED strip also 5 meters, the charging board / boost converter, and the 10,000 mAh lipo battery, heat shrink for the wires and installation, some screws to screw up the bottom panel to the case. We'll move this aside and bring in the 3D printed parts. This is the bottom panel, and we have the middle which will host the electronics and switches. The LED tower which will host both the RGB and the dedicated white LEDs. Now you must be wondering, where's the lampshade? Let me just show you. It's currently being printed right now on the Artillery Sidewinder X2. There it is, just starting out. We'll get back to that later. What you're going to want to do is to grab the middle plate which will hold all the electronics. So we'll be installing the 2 white rocker switches. Let me just get them, and we're going to install them in their designated slot and make sure it's flush against the 3D printed case. Alright, so after you have pushed them inside, it's now time to get the charging board / boost module and screw it down in its designated slot. Make sure the port lines up properly, and we just screw it right in. Make sure it's in place properly, and then we move on to the next step. Then we're going to align the battery to see where it sits comfortable, where it doesn't block any wires or anything else. Then we're going to grab the LED tower and get ready to screw it on to the middle part. There is a screw hole inside of the LED tower where it needs to align up with the middle part, which is there. You need to align those 2 screw holes and screw the base and the LED tower together. But first we need to push it inside and make sure it goes all the way till it bucks. And there we go. Then we insert the screw and screw it in. By the way, please don't be like me. Remember to remove the supports on the LED tower. Now it's time to put the LEDs on the LED tower, but first we're going to locate where the wires are supposed to go, and then we're going to start to put the LEDs on the tower, starting with the RGB. We're going to peel off the sticker at the back, exposing the adhesive, and glue it onto the tower. Now, to spare you from sitting here and watching me try to glue LED strips to a tower, let's just move on to the good part. Now with a little magic, voila, the LED tower is now finished. Now it's time to connect the RGB's controller. Let me grab that. My controller kind of goes on the opposite way, so I have to flip it around. Then I'm going to put the wires through the slot for the wires to go through the LED tower. And pull that through. I'm just gluing on the LED controller so it doesn't move up and down, and push the wires right down to the base. Now it's time to move on to the dedicated white LEDs and solder their positive and negative. And also run these wires to the base. Now, just in case this all gets confusing, I've added a schematic on the screen so you can understand it. Now I'm going to get the installation of these wires and get them ready to be connected to the switch and the charging module. These wires were a little bit too short, so I had to make longer ones. You see, it connects perfectly and evades including the battery, and I've also connected up the switches and the LEDs. Remember, there's a schematic, so if you need it you can pause and look at it. Now I'm just going to heat up the heat shrink so it attaches to the wire properly, and then move on to the next step. Which will be the painful soldering, gluing, and installation of the battery. Now that I got the battery installed, I'm just going to show you how it looks inside. Battery is glued down and everything is connected. Now I'm going to screw on the base with M2.5x10 screws. Link for all these parts will be in the description. And now we have the partial finished product. Still waiting on that lampshade from the printer. But we still can give the lamp a test run after we have looked around and verified that everything's connected properly. Let's try the RGB first. There it is. And now let's try the white LEDs. Perfect. So now let's turn off the light and see how it looks in the dark. Now let's go and get the lampshade off the printer's bed. And get rid of the support. Now that the support is gone, we can now screw it on to the lamp. It took a while, but it fits perfectly. And now we have the finished product of the lamp, with both RGB and its dedicated white LED. that we know that LEDs work, let's move on to test the USB ports, both the Type-C and the USB-A port. So I'm going to use this power bank to simulate the charging rates and this power meter. The light blinking and it's charging at 4 watts. Now let's try the lamp's USB port, which is the USB-A. And we will plug in one of our old lamps, the 2 blue portable LED light. A link for that video will be in the description. And there it is, it charges it at almost 5 watts. The lamp also can be controlled via this RGB remote. Either the 24 key or the 44 key can control this. Depending on the type of LEDs you get, you can also control it via an app. LEDs I will leave in the description are also controlled by an app. Now here's a little montage of the lamp at work. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you can drop a like or even a subscribe. Here is the 2 blue portable LED light that I was telling you about. Or if you like this lamp, here's another one, but it's adjustable.